Hey everybody, thanks for joining me again for another episode of the DeadPixelShow. And so if you're listening to this and you're wondering why I may sound a little congested or nasally, it's because I'm getting over a cold. I would have just skipped past this, maybe this week, just not done anything, had this not been a brand new thing I'm doing. I'm just getting into this, so felt kind of awkward if I would have been the second weekend in, the second time I'm going to do this, and I was just like, I'm skipping a week. Do please forgive me if my voice is off. I am trying my best. First thing I kind of wanted to talk about was an interesting article that came up. It's about the Wii U, about it being a little more powerful than people perceive it to be. Obviously, with the Xbox One, with the PS4, and the Wii U, the Nintendo Wii U is one that I think most people would look down upon, and they go, that is the slowest of the gaming consoles. Now, that doesn't mean it's bad or anybody thinks that it was not capable of keeping up, but there is a perception, and it probably deserves it, of it being the least powerful of the three. Now, I mean, some of that's going to come with the sense that it was the first one out. If you look at it, Nintendo Wii U was out much earlier than the PS4, the Xbox One. There's no debate about it. Obviously, when the Dreamcast came out, it was out earlier than the PS2, and it was underpowered compared to the PS2. That didn't make it a bad console or anything, but that's just how it was. So anyways, Wii U is perceived, it's underpowered, it's not capable of doing a lot of graphics, a lot of processing. It's just, it's not up to the specs. Well, what's interesting is Michael Michael K, I probably should reference him as president of Retro Studios, said that's just not the case. He actually went on to say in an article that he was giving no restrictions to his artists. He said, put as many polygons into the assets you're making for the game as you want. Now, the polygons reference the detail. If you want to see a low polygon and high polygon, go back and look at a game from the Nintendo 64. If you look at any of the game assets, pretty much all the game characters, they're going to look really boxy, and they're not going to have a lot of great detail. That's because they're not a high polygon count. There's not a lot of detail because the N64 was not capable of processing that much. Go back older days, like old PC games, you're going to see even uglier polygons. It's the same thing if you looked at CGI movies. If you look at old ones, a lot of them have a much less polygon rendered assets. These are because it takes a longer time to render a higher detail. The more polygons, the more processing power you're taking. So obviously, unless you have a higher budget, you can't deal with all that render time. You need to get, assets into the film because you need to make the film to then sell it. It's the same thing with gaming. If you have a lot of polygons, it's taken up a lot of the processing power of your console. So, it's an interesting thing to hear. Any man that can actually go and say, hey, the Wii U is a lot stronger than anybody thinks. It's so strong, in fact, that you could take any asset. You can take all these assets. You can go to your artist and just go, hey, put as much detail as you really think we got to into it. That's obviously, to me, and to anyone that reads the article, means that really this machine should have a lot of processing power. It should be capable of doing a lot. So maybe we just are scratching the surface of what we're going to see coming out of the Wii U. Maybe we're going to see a lot more in-depth gaming. I'm interested to see where it goes. Also, in kind of gaming news, well, close enough to gaming news, looks like there's going to be a new movie coming out in the future. Obviously, it's not yet written. It's going to be a Minecraft movie from Warner Brothers. Now, after the Lego movies raked in more than $280 million in its 3 weeks since it's been out, I can understand why you'd want a Minecraft movie. Minecraft itself, the game, is a lot like Legos in a digital world. You build things. That's what the game is about, and also kind of surviving zombies if you want to. It's an interesting twist of things, but I mean, everybody knows what Minecraft is. A lot of people have played it. Massively successful game. You really have to give it up to everybody that worked on it. Truly innovative. We had not seen something like that since forever, really. Obviously this game was so fresh, so different. It was a great idea, and I think this, it's a man who was smart enough to go, people love Legos. People have always loved Legos pretty much everywhere that I can tell from since they've been around. Why not make a digital game? Smart idea. I'm sure Lego's kicking themselves for not thinking how to make Minecraft a Lego game instead of Minecraft making it. Obviously, I'm sure Lego would have liked a game that was just like Minecraft, only with their name on it. have even more billions of dollars than they have. The interesting thing that I hear about the Minecraft movie, at least being reported by Deadline, is that they want to do a live-action version, that Warner Brothers wants a live-action movie of Minecraft. Don't know how that's going to come out. I believe the guy who is linked to the Lego script, or at least being a producer, if not the scriptwriter or director, is also being linked to this Minecraft movie, which is probably a good thing. Obviously, the Lego movie, when I first heard about it, I was like, how do you do a Lego movie? I was like, we've seen what happens when you make a Battleship a movie. It's not that great, even though you throw in Liam Neeson. Sure, it's kind of fun, it's kind of funny, it's kind of bad, it's mostly bad. But how are you going to do a Lego movie? I mean, what are you going to do? Like, take a video camera, go over and watch some kid build some Legos, be like, bam, imagination, and throw it up on the screen. Obviously, proved everybody wrong. They did a great job. I think everybody that's seen it seems to love it. I haven't heard anybody personally come up to me and go, hey, horrible movie, don't see it. I'm sure there's a few out there, there has to be. But nonetheless, it was a very fresh take on a movie genre. And we'll have to see how the Minecraft movie ends up coming out. Also sticking with some Warner Brother news, it looks like we could have an announcement of a new Batman game coming up. It looks like obviously it would be a Batman game made by Warner Brothers Interactive and Rocksteady. They've done the past 3 Batman games. At least I believe they have. If they haven't done all 3, I would be incredibly surprised because they all play very similarly. I guess I could be wrong. No, obviously Warner Brothers would be a hand of all of them. I would expect that Rocksteady was a hand in all of them. It's possible I'm incorrect on that. Nonetheless, it looks like there's some footage, or not footage, an image of what looks like to be a new Batman logo or poster. So we'll have to see where that goes. I'm excited for another Batman game. How about you? Third one obviously was not as loved as much as the first and second. I still enjoyed the third one. I still had fun with it. The first one, I think, was probably the best. It was the best jump, the best leap. It was like, wow, this is what a Batman game could be. It's kind of like when Christopher Nolan took over the Batman franchise. It was like, oh, this is what a good Batman movie looks like. And then obviously he made the third movie and you're like, oh, that's what a mediocre Batman movie looks like. That's not the case about this. Who cares about that? Hopefully we have a new Batman game coming out. It would be really cool, I think. I'm excited, so let's see where that goes. Alright, so now we got the Warner Brothers news out. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about, at least for me, it's going to be over the pond. It's going to be over in Europe. So the European Commission, they want to take out the word free in free-to-play games if the game itself is not free 100%. And that means no in-app purchases, no microtransactions, nothing. If your game says free, it's 100% free. I think, honestly, that's probably a good idea. Why do I think that's a good idea? Well, I think the way a lot of these people get their money is in unfortunate ways that kids that don't know any better buy something without realizing they're buying something. Obviously, if you're an adult and you buy a microtransaction, if you do something like that, an in-app game purchase, I have less sympathy for you than I do a little kid. A little kid, they get their parents to download a game, they're playing a game, and they go, oh, I need this to complete the game. I need this to get past somewhere. And they buy something. They buy some coins or points or whatever, right? They don't realize they're buying something. They just don't comprehend it. So yeah, let's take that away from them. Let's not let these kids get confused and they're buying things. They don't realize it. And then their parents' mobile phone bill gets racked up without them realizing it. That's unfortunate. It shouldn't happen. I guess you could make an argument that maybe this should be on the phone company side, that these phones, they need to put some type of software in that lets parents just completely turn any type of in-app purchases off, which I believe there might be on some or most smartphones, or some type of ability to do something like that. I'm not 100% sure. I believe I've seen something like that, but again, I could be just randomly thinking there. Nonetheless, I think it's kind of shady to call your game free if it's not really free. I get it, free to play means you can play it without doing anything in terms of microtransactions, but I'm not happy that they call it free to play. I guess it's not the worst thing. I mean, itself, microtransactions, in-app purchases, I don't like. I think the fact that they are around, that they exist in games, has hurt the gaming market more than it's helped. The same thing with DLC has hurt it more than it could help, that doesn't mean everything is horrible about it. Obviously, there's some really good DLC that adds on to a game that makes it better after a game's been made, but there's been times where you catch a new game coming out, and they go, hey, 2 days after it's out, they're like, here's some DLC. Well, obviously that part of the game was made, and you just decided you'd rather sell it to me later than actually when I bought the game. There's even times where they find a game, and there's files on there that they're ready to go. They're in there. There's a character, but they locked it down unless you buy the DLC. And to me, that's shady. That's a scam. If you're buying a game, it should be everything that they could do up to that point out is in that game. After a point, obviously if the game's been out for 2 weeks and then you start developing a DLC for it, fine, I'm fine with that because you've now come up with something new to it after a point of purchase. Same thing with microtransactions. It drives me insane with microtransactions because there's so many times where a game goes, hey, you need to complete this, don't you? You need to get past this wall we just went out of our way to set down in front of you. And the only way you can get past it is if you pay us more money. Or wait 3 weeks to get something that'll provide you 10 seconds of enjoyment. That's bullshit. That angers me. I do not like that. I've met game developers that actually have the thought. They're funny enough, they're not usually the guys that want to make the games. They're the guys that are higher up on the chain that go, let's discuss money terms, that think like this. That I've honestly heard them say, we want to make a game, and this game will not be, you cannot beat it. We'll put an item you need. In this case, he said a sword. It would be a sword in a game that you would need to beat the game that they would not let you get unless you paid money for it. That's a microtransaction that just proves you should not have microtransactions. Because when you're taking a game and you're going, hey, we're going to limit you, we're going to limit the game just to make sure you give us more money, that's wrong. Put the money up front. Go, hey, I think people should be rewarded with money in the gaming market. I'm fine with that. I'm not saying make all these games free or anything. Make people pay for them. If you need an advertisement around with your game, fine. That's okay with me. Obviously, a lot of Flash games, they don't make you pay upfront to play it, but there's an advertisement or they've been sponsored for somebody, and if you click there, you go to their sponsorship. That's cool with me. What's not cool is when they go, if you want to get past somewhere, give us money. That's not acceptable to me. That hurts the gaming industry. That's what makes kids go, games aren't fun anymore. That's how you can kill the gaming market. So hopefully, I want to see this go through. I do want to see them take out the word free from a game if it's not 100% free to play, in the sense that there's no microtransactions, there's nothing. There can obviously be 3 categories. Free as in 100% free, some type of intermediate where it's in-app purchase microtransactions, and then you have a full pay version where once you pay for it, you're done. Let's go for that. So I want to see where that goes. All right, guys. Well, that was my show today, this week. Obviously, I'm sorry. I apologize if my voice has not sounded correct to you. Like I said, I'm getting over a cold, so I feel like it's a little nasally, a little congested. I'm trying my best to have a decent voice, but I do apologize if it sounds horrible. If you can subscribe, like, comment, all those good and great things I always ask for. I always enjoy, always very much like whenever everybody interacts with me. If you put a comment or send me a message, anything like that, I do really appreciate. I enjoy every time I see a video get liked. I do really try my best to put something out there that people can enjoy. So if you did enjoy it, I would greatly appreciate you sharing that message with me. Like it, subscribe, comment. That's what I'd love to see. Obviously, if you hated it, you have the exact same option of disliking and commenting and telling me I'm a horrible person. You're welcome to do that. I would hope that I haven't come off as some horrible person that you would do that to me, but can't make everybody happy now, can I? Anyways, thank you very much again for watching. I hope until next time, you'll stick around and watch some other of my videos. And then next week, hopefully I won't have this cold, and when I talk, I sound a little more normal. Thanks again for watching. I really appreciate it. And until next time, see you guys.